Democrats are going to notice that you didn't list gun control in your responses. A lot of Democrats, including the president who will address it tonight, think gun control is an answer to this.
No, well, I was just at a press conference the other day talking about the need for increased gun control. I don't think anybody believes it's a magic formula. Clearly, though, there is an obvious common sense consensus, John, in this country that guns should not be falling into the hands of people who should not be having them. And obviously that goes without saying. I don't think it's very hard to understand that terrorists or potential terrorists should not have guns. People who are being barred from flying on airplanes should not have guns. I believe we must improve and expand instant background checks. I believe we have got to do away with this gun show loophole. About 40% of the guns in this country are sold outside of the purview of the instant background check process. I think I agree with the New York Times. I think it does not make sense to me that we have guns designed for military purposes that can kill enormous numbers of people in a very short period of time being sold and distributed in the United States. And I support a ban on assault weapons. I think we need to do away with the straw man provision so that people can legally buy guns but then give them to criminals. And I think we need a revolution in mental health. And that revolution is about making sure that the many thousands of people who are walking the streets of America today, who are suicidal or homicidal, get the help they need, and they get it now, not 2 months from now.
Okay, Senator Sanders, we need to take a break right now, but we're going to ask you to stay with us, and we'll be back with Senator Sanders in a moment. Welcome back to Face the Nation. I'm John Dickerson. We're back with Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders. Senator Sanders, I want to continue on with the conversation a little bit on gun control. So many Democratic voters I've talked to in the wake of the San Bernardino shootings are concerned about this. One of the questions they wanted me to ask you is whether you regret having voted to protect gun manufacturers, giving them that immunity. What's your feeling on that now?
Well, I come from a rural state that has no gun control at all. I think the votes that I have cast over the last 25 years have been strong votes for protecting the American people from gun violence. That one particular vote, there were things in it that make sense to me. There are things in it that do not make sense to me, and I've said many times I'm willing to rethink that piece of legislation and make it more effective. If a gun manufacturer understands and knows that the product that he is selling to a community is really getting out to criminal elements, that gun manufacturer should be held liable for what the company is doing.
In retrospect, though, do you think it was a mistake, that vote?
There were elements in that vote back then that did make sense, in the sense that if a small gun shop owner in the state of Vermont sells a product, a gun, legally to somebody else who then goes out and does something crazy, do I think that that small gun shop owner should be held liable for legally selling the product? No, I don't. But I think bottom line is that we should be rethinking that legislation, and we should be doing everything that we can as a country to make sure that weapons do not get into the hands of people who should not have them.
Because of your experience from a rural state and your understanding of that, you've talked about being a bridge builder between the Democrats who would like to see gun control and Second Amendment, those who care about the Second Amendment. So tell me how you would build that bridge in this instance, because when I talk to some conservatives, they say, look, this is a situation in which a man went and killed his co-workers and a mother dropped off her 6-month-old baby. You're not going to stop those kind of premeditated killers with any gun control.
Well, let me answer in two ways. For a start, there is a political split in this country on guns, and everybody knows that. Every poll indicates that. But I think, John, there is a broad consensus focusing on the reality that the vast majority of the American people, not everybody, by the way, but the vast majority understand that we have got to do everything that we can to prevent guns from falling into the hands of people who should not have them. And who are those people? Obviously, criminal people, people who are into domestic violence, people who will use guns to kill other people, people who are mentally ill and should not have those guns. Vast majority of the American people believe that. And I believe that what we should be doing is improving and expanding instant background checks. Second of all, if you believe that, which most Americans believe, what most Americans also believe is you don't want an obvious loophole that allows guns to be sold to people who are criminals or mentally ill. That means ending the gun show loophole.
Senator,
it means ending the straw man situation.